Hey everybody, welcome back to joining the Be An Astronaut podcast. And we discuss anything and everything astronaut. Now, since the Falcon 9, SpaceX has been launching the most reusable rocket they can. And since the Falcon 9 has been launched, we've now seen the Falcon Heavy and the BFR, and now we're going to the Starship. And as they've improved each rocket, we're now seeing that the engines have improved themselves. They started off with the Merlin engines in Falcon 9, but the Raptor engines are just scaled up versions that run on methane. Wired.co.uk says, with reusable vehicles, we want to get to the point at which we care about what the propellant costs. And airlines, typically 35% of the total operating cost of its fuel with a rocket, is less than 1% traditionally. So what Wire's kind of saying there is the economic value of the rocket is going to continue to increase as long as the efficiency and proficiency gets better. Because right now they're using the methane fuel, and they're mixing it with another kind of substance which cools down the engine while it's used. Alright. Additionally, in a interview that Everyday Astronaut did with Elon Musk at the Starship event, the goal they're shooting for is they're trying to improve the combustion efficiency, which a lot of fancy words going around, but pretty much they're trying to get the most out of they're trying to get the most impact out of each molecule of fuel they have. So by doing this, so they chose to go with a let me look it up. Okay. So it's called full flow stage combustion. So some basic science behind what a rocket does. You have your fuel, and then you have a kind of oxidizer kind of thing. You put those two together and fit it, and it runs through a nozzle. So it's kind of, and the nozzle looks like a kind of a cone. I guess the driving, the safety cone looking things without the square bottom. You feed the oxidizer and fuel together, and when it hits gas at that point, because it's super hot, it's going to go from a small circle to a much larger circle. That means the pressure is going to decrease and the velocity is going to increase. So as a result, the thrust goes way up. And digging into what the full stage or full flow stage combustion is, Everyday Astronaut has a good Twitter post about this. So you have, I'll throw that in the description as well. You have a square over here, that's all your fuel. In this case, the methane fuel. And over here in this one, you have the oxidizer fuel. And then from each box, it will flow down around through the pipes, and it will meet in the combustion chamber at the same time. This is where it gets superheated, it becomes gas, it does all that kind of stuff. but they meet in the combustion chamber, then they feed through the nozzle to speed up, and then they go through the remainder of the engine. But what it means by full flow is that the flow isn't stopped, it's just going through both tanks at the same rate and hitting at the same spot, and it's staged. So the Raptor engine, for example, it's going to before it gets pre-fueled, so it kind of before it launches, so before the oxidation and the fuel drops, the engine gets cooled off. Okay, now that we understand the how engines work and what the Raptor engine's doing, we can really start looking at Starship itself. Starship is that's now an Artemis program for NASA, and it's kind of started to really take off in the media and everything. SpaceX made their own like CGI video to introduce it, which I'll also throw in the description below. It kind of really shoots what they're looking for. It looks pretty awesome. So the Starship is gonna have the booster is gonna have 42 Raptor engines, and that's reusable. This has been Journey to Be an Astronaut. We talked about rocket engines, how they work, and the new Raptor engines for SpaceX. Have an amazing day, stargazers. Stay safe.